On this episode of the Layover Live, Katie stops by to talk DMOs being creative during the crisis. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 112 of the Layover Live, where we bring you the top article from the Layover each week. I'm Jason Swick, VP of Digital Marketing, joined once again by Katie Cook, Digital Strategist. So, Katie, welcome.
Thank you very much.
How you doing out there in Austin, Katie?
I'm doing well, actually. Thanks for asking. Hope you're well
Good.
in Tucson.
Yeah, we are doing well, and just one day at a time, like it is for everybody else. But one thing is, in this time, it's often a time to think about things and become more creative. So our article of the week this week comes from Skift, who lately has been putting out also some really, really great content where they talk about 5 tourism promotion campaigns that are really hitting those right notes during the crisis. So Katie, I wanted to bring you on today as well to talk about some of those things, as I think it's really good as we're starting to pivot kind of away from developing all this content now for our constituents and for our stakeholders and for our local communities, which DMOs, quite honestly, have done a really stand-up job with across the board in a very short period of time. But now we're starting to think about these different creative ways that we can provide promotions and whatnot. I know I've seen some things even from like Fort Lauderdale, who's even building like playlist on Netflix for films that were shot in their area and all these different things. But I want to talk to you about some of that. And as we then are, practicing more social responsibility and staying at home and being safe, destinations are really shifting those marketing messages. So it's a really, really good conversation. In the article, Skift shares these examples and 5 of them to be specific, Katie. So what are some of those examples that DMOs out there who are doing a really good job with this?
Yeah, and in addition to the examples that Skift shows, I thought we could talk through a few other ones. It's not often that DMOs tell potential visitors or locals to stay home, but there are that are doing just that. They're using stay-at-home messaging in really creative and on-brand ways. A few examples of that is San Francisco Travel. San Francisco Travel has the fog will wait for you messaging right now. Fort Worth is very on brand by saying y'all stay home. And then Innovation Norway is saying dream now, visit later. So they're all having this message about staying at home to be socially responsible, but then also kind of inspiring and creating that need that want to travel at a later date. So I think those are all really clever examples of that. Another thing that just kind of came up this week are a few destinations, Paris, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, and they're all doing something called Through My Window. So they're sharing user-generated content on social media of people that use the hashtag Through My Window. So you could actually see an example of Los Angeles. If you look at the hashtag LA Through My Window on Instagram, you're seeing these really beautiful photos of Los Angeles that are taken through people's window while they're staying at home.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Those are really, really good examples, Katie, on that side. If you're looking at user-generated content now, I think it's a great way to be able to come up with some clever ideas and some things to be able to do. Those examples you shared are excellent. UGC is great because we're getting that crowdsourced content, and we know it resonates with that audience based on how it's shared and how it's engaged with. So yeah, that's a good point to make about UGC. So thinking about that, this look out the window campaign, right, and thinking about stay-at-home messaging. Let's move away from that stay-at-home messaging, and what are some other ways maybe that DMOs are creatively shifting their message and their focus right now?
Yeah, not all DMOs are specifically using those words, stay at home, but they're they've shifted what they're sharing across all of their accounts and on their website. Some of the things that we're seeing is just kind of more inspirational photography and video of their destinations, and they're not necessarily having that strong call to action of you must visit now. It's just kind of keeping people inspired and engaging with their audiences with this really strong photography and video. And then, like we talked about last week, their DMOs are still, sharing that support local business message by creating these resources on their website and then sharing that of ways that those businesses locally can still be supported even though people are staying home. And I think, some of the more creative things in that area are some DMOs are doing things like coloring pages of their destinations, scavenger hunts, bingo cards, just kind of more creative ways that are really engaging and are showing off their destinations.
Yeah, that's really, really good examples again of some of those creative ways, and it's not just on websites, right?
Right.
They're doing it through other channels. So, what are some channels that DMOs are using to get this messaging and these resources out there?
Yeah, and like we talked about last week, they're really, using their websites and their blogs as that hub, and then sharing out that content through email and social, and really. I think DMOs are really set up well to create timely, relevant content and getting it out in a really quick period of time. And we're really seeing them do that this week, or the last, I should say, few weeks. They're really, being creative and finding ways to still keep their audiences engaged and be inspirational. And I've found a few DMOs, and I'm sure there's way more, that are kind of going that extra step in the creative ways. Travel Portland is one. They have created a hashtag Portland Together, and they're kind of sharing that along with some different creative pieces with their partners, hoping that they'll help get the word out that they're still open and ways that they can be helped through that hashtag. Visit Phoenix has done something similar where they have created some really great window signage for their partners to hang in their windows to let them know that they're open or they're doing delivery services. And they've created an initiative called Together We Rise, where Visit Phoenix is selling some merchandise like T-shirts with that Together We Rise, and then the proceeds are going to benefit the hospitality community. So just a couple examples of kind of going the next step in supporting your partners with some creative that you built.
Yeah, Katie, again, really good examples of DMOs out there that are kind of, thinking outside the box. I don't like using that term, but they really are coming up with these really creative ideas, and it's engaging content as well. Again, sometimes during these challenging times, it brings out the best of us. It brings us together more than ever, and DMOs are definitely finding a way to do that through a lot of these types of programs. Also, we'll be sure that we share some of these examples and some links to some of these in the show notes as well at the end, so you can see for yourself some of the DMOs who are really, really, really thinking creatively during this time of crisis. So, Katie, thanks for tuning in and participating with us this week. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you bet. And thanks for tuning in each and every week. If you're not subscribed now, please do so. We're also available on Spotify and iTunes if you like to consume us through podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time, and have a great day.